Smart 24, driving business.
Welcome back from that short commercial break, and you're still watching Business Today. I'm RONAH NAHABWE with Winnie Wiyinza Nakawuji on the sign language. Now, agriculture still remains one of the most risky ventures despite offering employment to majority of Ugandans. Tonight, Fred Makubia interacts with Angel Pasisiopa from Agro Consortium that partnered with government to avail agricultural insurance to farmers.
Well, it is a pleasure and thank you for joining us on the Coffee Court. This is where we ask the critical questions. I can guarantee you that one of the areas through which you can be sure of the safety of the farmers in this country is to save through insurance. And this time around, the Coffee Court takes time to digest matters regarding the agricultural insurance scheme. And our pleasure is to find people who can ably explain and digest such matters. Angela Yopa, of course, she's in charge of project, monitoring and variation officer when it comes to the Agro Consortium. Angela, thank you for finding time to speak to us.
Thank you too.
We are talking about insurance. What is this about?
Well, the agriculture insurance scheme started in July, that is 2016. And this scheme is basically a public-private partnership between the government of Uganda and the private sector, that is between the farmers and also those between the insurance companies. And the main reason why the scheme was created was to provide for affordable insurance, affordable and standardized agriculture insurance for farmers. And each year the government allocates 5 billion Uganda shillings towards the scheme so that we are able to support both small-scale and large-scale farmers to be able to get affordable insurance.
Okay.
Yes.
Why the agricultural sector in particular? What is that significant that you take time to invest money, especially in the agriculture sector?
Well, why we support farmers is because they face a lot of risks. Yeah, you see that climate change is becoming a hot topic now. It's becoming a big issue. We are seeing farmers facing lots of uncertainties. The floods that happened in Bale, there's drought along the cattle corridor, and all these uncertainties and risks really are harmful to farmers' businesses. So you'll find that someone has invested their whole heart, their money into farming, but a drought will come and destroy their garden. And at the end of the season, you find that the farmer has nothing to go back to. And one of the fallback positions that a farmer can have is if their gardens were insured to begin with, they can be able to be compensated against these uncontrollable risks that may happen.
Okay.
Yes.
And just to bring us to speed, where exactly have you done some of these insurance schemes?
Well, our scheme is a national scheme, so we have farmers from all over the country.
Sure.
Yes, but our offices are here in Kampala. Our main offices are in Naguru. We also have regional offices, 3 of them, based in Barara, the other in Bale, the other in Gulu. So we basically have access to, actually very many farmers have access to these services. We also work through different other channels like financial institutions, farmer groups, SACCOs. We work with different partners, off-takers, aggregators who enable farmers access for these insurance services that we offer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, this comes at a time when we are celebrating about 3 days of Insurance Week. Just to be particular, Yopa, if I want to be part of this group of people that can be helped, what exactly am I supposed to have?
Well, if you're a farmer and you're looking to be insured, you would first of all have the enterprise that you're dealing with. Are you a coffee farmer? Are you a maize farmer? Do you deal in livestock or aquaculture? So that's the first thing we have to establish. Then we have to know the quantity, let's say in line of the number of animals that you are rearing. We need to know the number of acres that you are planting. And we also need to know the estimated value of the crop or animal that you are enterprising in so that we are able to provide the service that you need. So you'll find that our services are not really, we need to establish all those details first, even the location. The location is very, very critical because you'll find that some products look at weather-related risks. So we need to know all those details and then be able to provide you with the service that you need.
To what extent are the farmers aware of such packages, especially the agricultural insurance schemes?
Well, we try as much as possible to spread the word, to create awareness. And we have a number of initiatives ongoing. Like you'd mentioned, there's the Insurance Week. We normally participate with other partners to ensure that we spread the word. We also, and actually one of the main things that we do at the Agro Consortium is to ensure that we reach the last mile customer. So we partner with different organizations and initiatives to reach the last mile customer. So we go on campaign drives, we go down to the villages to sensitize farmers about our products and services. You'll find that our biggest clients are the small scale farmers because they're the ones that face a number of risks. This is their main, or farming is their main core activity. So you find that insurance is one of those areas that supports them by mitigating some of the challenges that they face, either due to drought, excessive rainfall, and other risks that they may face.
If you're to measure the impact, to what extent do you think have been successful in disseminating some of this information?
Well, we've actually managed to disseminate as much information as possible. And sorry, I forgot to mention, we also go to different radios. Radios have talk shows and interviews so that we can spread the word. But we've been successful to a very big extent.
Okay.
Yes.
Generally, still, the perception of Ugandans towards insurance is still a struggling thing. I don't know what your take is on this matter.
Well, yes, insurance is one of those areas where that needs a lot of attention because, first and foremost, a number of Ugandans are illiterate. So even the basic financial knowledge they don't have. So what happens is we ensure that before we sell our products to the customer, we have to make them aware of the details, what insurance is, what risks are we covering, and the extent of which, or even the extent that insurance will help them towards achieving a sustainable business. So, yeah.
So good enough, you're saying the perception is keeping on changing slowly,
Yes.
by slowly.
Yes.
I know it's one of the avenues. If you went to downtown, the perception would actually be different. So what do we do to deal with this kind of perception?
Number one, like I mentioned, we do more of awareness and sensitization so that we can have some sort of behavioral change amongst our customers and consumers from a negative perception about insurance to a more positive one. So we go out to the different regions to ensure that we change the mindset of people by educating them about the importance of insurance. That is actually the main thing that we do to tackle this problem.
You've heard of the fundamental question of mfuniramuwa. Where do I benefit as a farmer? So where does a farmer benefit in all these things?
Well, first and foremost, a farmer benefits from building a sustainable business, number one. You find that in case a calamity is to occur, the farmer is eligible for compensation if they have been insured to start with. They're eligible for compensation. Instead of starting from zero, they have somewhere to start from. Yes. Secondly, you find, like I mentioned, most of our customers are small-scale farmers. You find that if they suffer a big loss, you find that maybe their children don't go to school the next term, or they are struggling financially. And you know, with all those aspects into consideration, you find that at least if an insured farmer is compensated, they have where to start from.
So children are part of the agriculture insurance?
No, I'm not. No, not children. I'm just talking about the household in general. Okay. Because now, of course, if let's say the mother and father of a household are insured, or are insured for agriculture insurance, and maybe they suffer loss, maybe it was a bad season and then they suffer loss, the harvest they were banking on to maybe take their children to school or to run the day-to-day activities at home is not met, then in case that happens and they are compensated, then at least they have where to start from.
If I do well, you've talked about the outbreak of calamities. These take years and years to happen. So in case they don't happen, and God forbid that some of these things don't happen, so what do we do anyway? As a farmer, I am speaking from the perspective of a farmer. Yes.
So like any other, adaptive measure, this insurance is in place to support farmers in case a calamity happens. So let me just give you an example of, let's say, if you are in a village group or circle. Some of these circles collect money, let's say, for an eventuality within their village, in case someone in the household, in case someone in the village happens to maybe pass away, then the contributions that everyone has put together is given to that person who has suffered loss. So insurance is there to support those in an eventual, insurance is there to support farmers in this aspect. Okay. In case anything is to happen, in case a calamity is to happen.
Okay. Yeah. Every insurance has the nitty-gritties. For us in the layman, we could call them diff packages. What are some of the nitty-gritties that are embedded when it comes to issues of the agriculture insurance? For instance, generally, if I've had colleagues who've got an accident, when you go to the hospital, they'll ask you which package are you on, which one exactly did you subscribe to. Those are the nitty-gritties I'm talking about. Do these anywhere exist? Okay,
like I mentioned earlier on, our products are unique. So it depends on a number of things. It depends on the enterprise you're dealing in. It depends on the number of acres of crop you are planting. It depends on the number of animals you have. It depends on your location. You know, insurance services for a person in Karamoja, or let's say Karamoja, Mbale, Mbarara. You see, weather conditions are different. So our service is dependent on so many factors.
So many things.
Yes.
And what are these that exactly you depend on to compensate in case some of these outbreaks? There are those that I have control over as a farmer.
Yes.
And there are those that are natural. They just simply occur naturally. So what do you base on to compensate the farmers?
Like I said, we have different products and services. And one of the services that we offer is weather-based insurance that looks at the weather conditions within a certain period of time. Yeah.
So what do we do? Anyway, if I want to be part of these packages, what exactly can I be in position to do?
If you want to...
If I am a farmer, yes, if I am a farmer and I want to join this package, what are some of the procedures that I'm supposed to go through?
Well, now for instances like large-scale farmers, you can approach us We have our offices, like I'd mentioned, in Nakuru. We have our website. So in case you're interested in our products and services, you can approach us directly as a large-scale farmer, or even if you work with, or if you are, let's say, getting an agricultural loan, you can access agriculture insurance from various banks. Then in case you are a small-scale farmer, you can access insurance by coming as a group, being in a SACCO, a SACCO or a village savings kind of organization, and so that we can be able to give you insurance.
And is there in any way that government can help to improve insurance in Uganda?
Like I mentioned at the beginning, the government has really supported our initiative. It allocates 5 billion every financial year towards supporting farmers by enabling them to have access to subsidized agriculture insurance.
Okay.
Yes.
And then as we wind up, what is your anticipation that if all farmers joined such insurance, what is your anticipation?
If farmers joined?
If we join such packages, what is your anticipation at the end of the day when it comes to the livelihood of farmers in this country?
The anticipation is that farmers' businesses, one, will grow, will be sustainable, especially with the issues to do with climate change. Agriculture insurance is there to de-risk farmers and offer an adaptable solution to such issues that are uncontrollable or unseeable.
Okay.
Yes.
And last but not least, are there some missing links that you think the farmers have not been able to understand when it comes to matters of the agricultural insurance schemes in this country?
Missing, well, we try as much as possible to sensitize farmers about agriculture insurance, because one of the issues that we face is that people are not aware about our services, and we would like as much as possible to interact with as many farmers as possible to spread the word about Agro Consortium. Yeah.
Well, your parting shot, Madam Angela Yopa, as we wind up this very exclusive and interesting discussion.
Yes. Well, my last words would be to encourage farmers out there to insure their gardens, their farms, and in case anyone wants to find out more information about us, they can go check out our website at www.aic.ug and get in touch with us so that we can see how to support them.
Thank you, Angela Yopa, for finding time to speak to us, especially on matters regarding being sure as a farmer that whatever you're doing is actually in the safe hands. Of course, he's a project manager in charge of monitoring and evaluation from the Agricultural Consortium. This is the Coffee Court, and my name is Fred Makubuya.
Such a nice conversation there about agriculture risk management. That conversation, of course, will lead us to the end of business today. As always, thank you for the pleasure of your time. I'm RONAH NAHABWE with Winnie. We use the Nakauchanda Sign Language, and if you missed this, you can watch on our YouTube at Smart24 TV, or follow or like our social media platforms on Twitter, Facebook, and the like to be up to speed of any business content in the region. Have a lovely evening.